Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dirain and I'm all about stories, whether through dramas, novels or any other form of media. Today we continue diving into the drama and novel Lost You Forever. As usual in this video series, I'm going to compare the different versions of the story. Throughout the video, you'll notice the episode and chapter of the events I'm discussing displayed at the top of the screen. If you missed previous parts, I highly recommend checking them out before you continue this video. All the links are in the description and in the info card, and don't forget to subscribe for the rest of the series. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get into it. We start the next episode with Xiang thinking about Xiao and remembering how his grandfather told him that he couldn't protect Xiao with his abilities when he was a child. Xiang wants Fenlong to keep Xiao company on the holidays while he himself can't do that. We also see that provisions were stolen from Xi'an town and the Yellow Emperor is furious about it, as well as Xuan's 5th and 7th uncles. Later, we come to know that the one who stole those provisions was Xiang because he meets Jin to make a deal. And that deal and the whole sequence is another moment I can't take. The offer is Xiao. At first, Jin even suggests that Xiang wants to threaten Jin with Xiao's life, but he actually offers to give up on Xiao in exchange for these provisions. Or so it seems, because we don't hear him say these words, and there is still room for interpretation. Jin replies that he would never allow anyone to use Xiao as a bargaining chip and that he will repay for her archery lessons on her behalf. What this implies is Xiao is Jin's woman, and he can do such thing as thank others on her behalf. Xiang hesitates, but he cannot cancel the deal because of his personal feelings. We see all the emotions on his face and in his gestures, but what good are the emotions when you have responsibilities? Jin leaves promising to deliver the goods and Xiang sits alone in an empty room. Again.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
The theme of his loneliness is written in caps lock in this drama, accompanied by the theme of alcoholism, written in even larger caps lock. So he gulps a cup of wine in an empty room and we see his body shake in angry frustration and pain. And all of that, what we have just witnessed, isn't a part of the novel.
NANI?
The addition of this scene makes Xiang pitiful, but plays into the contrast between the noble Tu Shanjin, who would never make any deals where Xiao was part of the offer, and the despicable Xiang who would go as far as to make the woman he loves a bargaining chip. Yes, there is a moment later on where Xiang kind of makes a deal with Jin that is connected to Xiao, but this one, it is once again simply vile in my opinion. And what's with him constantly drinking? I know it's mentioned in the novel that he likes to drink, but this drama version leaves an impression of a seasoned, depressed alcoholic, pitying himself in the moonlight.
Just stop! Just stop it! Stop! No! Just stop!
I love Xiang being emotional. I love seeing when his feelings are hurt and not having to guess if he even feels a thing, as we sometimes do in the novel. But for anything's sake, don't overdo it. I'm really tired of the Emma boy behavior being a popular trope. Another change happens in the scene where Xiao asks Jin to play a tune for her. I'll just read out the scene from the novel. Jin hadn't played in 20 years. And one time he sat down at his old zither and strummed it only to realize his fingers were no longer fluid. The notes were off and that was a reminder of what happened to his body. Every time his brother tortured him and the insulting words he said reverberated in his ears and he flipped the zither. He didn't want to remember those words and remember the pain. He felt that he would never want to touch the instrument again in his life. But right now Xiao wanted him to play for her. Jin couldn't say no to her, so he calmed himself down and concentrated every thought on playing. So there wasn't any talk about not knowing the Jincho master of the old or telling him that he can just pluck the strings however he wants and she will appreciate that. She didn't do any pep talk. Jin just couldn't say no to her. And so we have spent an additional couple of minutes watching Xiao reassuring Jin that he is good enough and explaining to him that nobody can take the joy from playing away from him. Not like there were other important scenes that the story could have benefited from. No. Well, Xiao, as a person with a PTSD, I would argue it's a rather long process to relearn to love things after they have been stained with painful memories. But yeah, of course, whatever, the power of love. Let's distract ourselves with a funny sequence of Onion trying to choose herself a good husband. After she left Xiang not being able to withstand the torture of watching Xuan drug himself, we have no clue about her in the novel. The drama shows us a couple of moments with her and the Grand Emperor talking about Xuan. I didn't mention them before, but they exist. These scenes are usually showing how both the emperor and his daughter have warm feelings towards Xuan and establish the connection between them. It is important for the events of the second season. This time, after reading in a letter that Xuan is close to Xingyue, Onion says that she's ready to choose another husband and doesn't want Xuan anymore. When it comes to the actual process, though, everyone is so boring that the princess falls asleep in front of the crowd of eager howling nobles. It also happened in the novel, and Xuan briefly mentions it in the next chapter. As the Lunar New Year approaches, we see the Yellow Emperor prepares gifts for all his descendants and pays extra attention to Xiao's gifts while purposefully ordering his eunuch not to bother with any extra attention for Xuan. Jin has to go back to Jinchou to celebrate with his family as the tradition dictates. In the drama, the parting of Jin and Xiao is very romantic and dramatic. They walk in slow motion, look at each other full of love and affection. As they pass each other, they steal a moment to secretly hold hands, and Jin passes a note to Xiao. Later, we see her reading the romantic poem Jin wrote with tears in her eyes. And as you may have guessed, none of this was in the novel, so we're pumping it up with Jin being the central man of the drama. Xuan comes to the banquet organized by little Zhurong, Xinyu and Fenlong's father. Little Zhurong was more present in the novel, but appears far less in the drama, and it is understandable. Too many supporting characters are also a bad thing for the drama, because we cannot keep up with all of them. In the novel, after Xuan comes, he and Xiao talk a bit. She finds out that Xuan has a very good relationship with many noble children from Haolin, and hears about Anian trying to find a husband. Xiao also thinks to herself that with Xuan's current goals, even if he misses the Grand Emperor and Anian, he can't simply set foot in Haolin anymore. It has all become a part of the grand political scheme, so one ought to be careful. We see how the major families spend the night of the Lunar New Year in the drama. In the novel, Xiao looks at the fireworks and thinks that Jin is likely with his grandmother watching the night sky. In the drama, Jin is outside the house holding a blossoming tree branch as his other family members toast to each other. And I don't believe it. His grandmother is so obsessed with her beloved grandson. Where is the logic of her toasting with Ying, Ho, and Ho's wife in the room? The drama makes an attempt to show that Jin longs to see Xiao, but crashes the logic of the story for that, once again. Then Xiao thinks that in the mountains outside Jinchou it must be freezing cold and the soldiers would likely be sitting around the campfires drinking strong wine and singing their national songs. And Xiangliu, dressed in all white, would be accompanying Hongjian as they walked through all the encampments. What the drama shows is everyone having fun together and Xiangliu standing alone with his usual wine bottle in the hand. He looks at the bright moon with deep sadness in his eyes.
Oh,
here we go again. So, loneliness and alcoholism. Alcoholism and loneliness, whichever you want to put first. I get it, he is a loner blah blah blah. But spare me please, wasn't he close to Hongjian? The person he died for in the battle later on? I get that Xiang wasn't a very warm person toward outsiders, but they could have at least shown him with Hongjian, really. Otherwise, it makes zero sense for him to stay loyal to that man until the end. They literally have 3 interactions throughout the whole drama. We spent time developing Fenglong's childishness, made up only to make him look stupid in contrast to Jing, but we have no time to show 5 seconds of Xiang patrolling the camp with his foster father. After the celebration, the drama skips straight to the action part, starting with the uncles monitoring the situation in the Central Plains and meeting the son of the Mu family. If you remember, in my previous video I mentioned a girl screaming after she saw Xiao in a red dress. There was also a man staring at Xiao so intensely she felt like a poisonous snake was about to bite her. The man was the son of the Mu family. In the novel, we don't see his meeting with the uncles, but we know later on that they are involved in the events to come. Although the drama doesn't explain everything right away, only hinting that the scheme has to do with Xiao's mother. In the novel, before the action part, we see Xuan leave and Xinyue gets very upset about it. Xiao laughs at her dazing into the sky in the direction where Xuan's cloud carriage flew to, and Xinyue says that Xiao shouldn't laugh at her because she too will get her moment to be sad about someone. And actually, Xiao has already had that moment with Jin, but she could hide her feelings well enough. On the topic of feelings, Xinyue in the novel already knows that Xiao has no feelings for Fenglong, but still asks once again just to be sure. She says that Fenglong is not the one for romance, but he will never have eyes on other women after he marries one, so Xiao would be lucky to have him. The next events are the same in both the drama and the novel. We read that little Zhu Rong went to report to the Yellow Emperor, Xuan went back to Chenrong Mountain, and Fenglong back to Chishui. The only ones left were Xiao and Xinyue. The two were invited to join the Tan family daughter to admire blossoms. Though we read that Xiao would rather stay and practice archery, she still goes to not let Xinyue lose face after she told everyone she was close to the princess of Haolin. The girls start playing snowballs and at some point Xiao goes for a walk. In the drama, Miao Pu goes with her and then disappears, but in the novel, Xiao was alone. And then mysterious things start happening. First, someone set a formation to keep Xiao inside and not let her get away. Then, she was chased and heavily injured by the moving vines and encountered 2 beasts. With that, we have come to the end of this video. I hope my analysis brought you joy and made you see something differently, or simply reminded you of the beauty of the novel and its complex view of the main characters. Thank you for watching till the end, leaving a like and commenting. Stay healthy, happy, and take care of yourselves. Till the next video!